Hi, my name is Aya, and I don't know how to start YouTube videos. I've been having a lot of questions on how I render in color Live2D hair. I don't think of it as a question. I just think of it like, what do you mean render hair? You just color it. But I'm gonna show you a little bit of how I do it in the most Aya way possible, which is being lazy. All right? And yes, you're gonna hear chickens in my background. Alright, first things first, you gotta open up your fucking art program. Oh shit, I can't curse. Ah, damn it. Here we go! Once you get Psy open, or your own art program, whatever you want to do, whatever you got, open up your file. I guess. I don't know what you want. Oh no, where'd it go? Alright, so I've never really done a tutorial before, but I will do my best to try to explain this as clear and somewhat coherent as I possibly can. I create all the base layers of the planned separation of line work. Right and left is still within one layer. I do the separation later, so it, you know, when I am working on symmetry tool, they can still both be shaded. So I have it off right now. They can still both be shaded, and so that it doesn't mess up any of the texture files when it goes to Live2D. It's not gonna be beginner friendly in the sense of you already need to know what Live2D is, and you already need to know how hair separation files work. Plus, you need to know what program you're working on, because I'm not gonna teach you how to do this in your program. There's so many art programs. Just find another tutorial. I love you, okay? Thank you. So the program that I use currently is Paint Tool Sci 2. But what I do is that let's say I'm gonna add a new strand of hair for this model. What I normally do is I add the base tone to it. So like I already pre-plan where the separation of this hair would go. And just, let's say that this is the hair strand. This is the hair strand. I just fill that in, you know, there's my base color, and then I'll, you know, change it as the color as the hair would do. I'm gonna keep it orange at the moment so you can see what's going on. Now that I've done the strands, I'm gonna grab my selection tool and highlight these strands so they're highlighted. And with that, a lot of programs do have the selection dilate tool. On Paint Tool Sci, it's actually right here in the selection tool, and it's gonna be dilation. Oh, my recording software doesn't show it. Okay, so I'll put an image here on how it looks like. When you dilate a section, you can dilate it by 1 pixel, or you can dilate it by a custom amount of pixels that suits your style. So let's say you have very thick line work, so you might want to dilate it even more so, honey. But for me, dilation of 1 pixel works wonders. Once I dilate it by 1 pixel, I'm going to add a new layer on the bottom. So this is going to be an empty layer. And I'm going to use the paint tool bucket to fill it up. So it should add this nice, crisp, pre-line dart layer. Yes, you can do your typical line art where you planned it and then you line art it yourself. Then you fill it up. Oh god. After I do that, now I have this, the base color of the strand and the line art of the strand. I would have had made a new layer, clipped this layer to the base color, and started shading this way to have everything else contained. And I would do this layer by layer, shade by shade, until we had the shading, and then, you know, the highlighting layers, and etc. I still use this method today. It honestly depends on what style I'm going for in my model. Another way that I do it is that once I've already made the base color of all the layers that I have planned, this is without separating the right and left, I make a new folder, and I would clip this folder to that hair layer. I'm gonna be hiding this because this is already one that I've done. I would make the plan of where I would do my shading and highlights. So for this example, I'm going to be copying this hair twice, and I'm going to change the hue of this hair to another color, since for a lot of people, black is something that's kind of hard to see. So I'm going to be changing her hair as this blue lavender type of color. Once I clip this new layer, I'm going to be getting a shade color, and I'm going to just go around and start shading how I would normally do as a normal illustration. If you're doing Live 2D, obviously you probably, or I hope that you know how to do normal illustration coloring. So this is what I would do. I would use the shades, you know, do normal illustration coloring. I'm gonna speed this up so you don't have to watch my suffering, but this is gonna be really crappy. And now I have this nice folder where all these shades are in. So what I'm gonna do is that once I go to the hair, I'm going to, you know, copy this folder. I'm gonna hide the original folder so I use it as a backup. And I move it towards the first strand of hair. Now, as you see, since you have it clipped, the hair strand is gonna be, you know, clipped to that one strand. We're not gonna keep this folder. It is ideal that later on, unless you have more complex models who do need other files of separation for the hair, then that's a whole different topic. But putting this on a simplistic route, we're gonna be merging this to the actual hair later on. So once I clipped it on one hair strand, you're just gonna copy this folder and you're gonna do it for all the hair strands. So once you've copied it to all the hair strands, what I typically do is, because right now, if I were to just start emerging them down, a lot of these hair strands will have lines that don't really make sense when following that hair direction. So for example, I'm going to hide every other hair strand so you can understand what I am talking about. Here we go. Perfect example. This hair strand, if I were to leave it like this, when the model is moving, you're going to see that clear indicate. Oh, what the? Don't mind me, I'm not clipping both. When the model here moves, you're gonna see that there's this clear line of that's not supposed to be there. So once I've emerged this layer down, I'm going to just clean up my work. Very, very nice, right? And I would go to the next hair strand, which, as you can see, again, there is some mistakes that is ideal that you would fix to make the hair look more coherent with the rest of it. So with returning to my original colors, obviously I can see right here that I have not finished, but you can get the general idea and the general premise, because it helps better plan not only how you're gonna put shading and your highlight. At least to me, it would decrease the amount of time I would have in hair, since I normally, you know, you would have to line art it, then color it in, and then clip a layer, and do this one by one. So this is how I have a lot of time reduction creating my models. And this can work with anything. It would also work with clothing just as well, if you want to, you know, plan the whole clothing, then start separating and clipping it. Maybe it's a different roundabout way for other people. Maybe it'll take a lot longer for you to, you know, do the style that I create my models in. Hopefully this is a good tip or trick. This isn't really a tutorial. Maybe it is. I don't know what to label this. It's just what I do. Yeah, I don't know. If you want to do it, you can do it. There you go. Stop asking me. All right, we're done.